Okay, Pallavi is also written her name. Pallavi, let Deepa start and you can take next. She wants to start, so asking. Is it okay? Or you want
Hi,
to start?
Pallavi.
Good morning. I already said yes. I gave thumb up when
Okay.
she said yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Good
I
morning,
did not
everyone.
see. I did not
Thank you.
see. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Okay,
Deepa,
so
I
we
think
are,
you can start. Yeah.
yeah. So we are in the 14th chapter, chapter 14. It is my intention, appreciate and express the genius that I am. Everyone is born a genius, but the process of living de-geniuses them. Buckminster Fuller. Consider that all human beings have within themselves the same essence of consciousness, and that the process of creativity and genius are attributes of human consciousness. Therefore, genius is a potential that lives within you and every other human being. You have many moments of genius in your lifetime. These are the times when you have a uniquely brilliant idea and implement it, even if only you are aware of how fantastic it is. Perhaps you created something absolutely astonishing and you even amazed yourself. Then there are the moments when you make exactly the right shot in a round of golf or a tennis match and you realize with immense pleasure that you're just accomplished, you're a genius. You may never have thought of yourself as a person who has a genius residing within. You may have thought that genius is a word reserved for the Mozarts, Michelangelos, Einsteins, Madame Curie's, Virginia Woolf, Stephen Hawking, and others whose lives and accomplishments have been publicized. But keep in mind that they share the same essence of consciousness that you do. They emanated from the same power of intention as you did. They all have they have all shared the same life force animating from I'm sorry. They have all shared the same life force animating them as you do. Your genius is in your very existence, awaiting the right circumstances to express itself. There is no such thing as luck or accidents in this purposeful universe. Not only is everything connected to everything else, but no one is excluded from the universal source called intention. And genius, since it is the characteristic of universal source, there must be universal, which means that it is in no way restricted. It is available to every human being. It certainly can and does show up differently in every single one of us. The qualities of creativity and geniuses are within you, awaiting your decision to match up with the power of intention. Changing your energy level to access the genius within you. In his illuminating book, Power versus Force, David Hawkins wrote, genius is by definition a style of consciousness characterized by the ability to access high energy attractor patterns. It is not a personality characteristic. It is not something that a person has or nor even something that someone is. Those in whom we recognize genius commonly disclaim it. A universal characteristic of genius is humility. A universal characteristic of genius is humility. The genius has always attributed his insights to some higher influence. Genius is a characteristic of creative force, the first of the seven phases of intention. It is an expression of divine. No one who considered a genius, be it Sir Lawrence Oliver on stage as Hamlet, Michael Jordan gracefully gliding toward a dunk on the basketball court, Clarence Darrow speaking to a jury, Joan of Arc inspiring a nation, or Mr. or Mrs. Pew Pratt, my eighth grade teacher making a story come alive in the classroom, can explain where the energy to perform at those levels came from. Sir Lawrence Oliver is said to have been distraught after giving one of the greatest stage performances of Hamlet ever seen in London. When asked why he was so upset after the thundering ovation from the audience, he replied, I paraphrase, I know it was my best performance, but I don't know how I did it, where it came from, and if I can ever do it again. Ego and genius are mutually exclusive. Genius is a foundation function of surrendering to the source or connecting to it so dramatically that one's ego is substantially minimized. This is what Dr. Hawkins means by accessing higher energy patterns. Genius is a function of surrendering to the source or reconnecting it so dramatically that one's ego is substantially minimized. This is what Dr. Hawkins means by accessing higher energy patterns. Higher energy is the energy of light, which is a way of describing spiritual energy. The 7 phases of intention are the ingredients of this spiritual energy. When you shift your thoughts, emotions, and life activities into these realms and deactivate the lower energies of the ego, the God force within you begin to take over. It is so automatic that it travels faster than your thought. This is why your thoughts about how you did something are so bewildering. The higher energy levels actually transcend thought, moving into vibrational harmony with the source energy of intention. As you release ego dominated thoughts which convince you that you're doing these amazing things and are responsible for these unbelievable accomplishments, you tap into the power of intention. This is where, this is where the genius that you truly are resides. Many people never get acquainted with this inner world of their personal genius and think that genius is only measured in intellectual or artistic endeavors. Genius remains in the shadow of their thoughts, unnoticed, during their occasional forays inward and may even be padlocked and chained. If you've been taught thinking too highly of yourself and that genius is reserved for a handful of select individuals, you probably resist this idea. You won't recognize your genius aspect if you have been conditioned to believe that you should accept your lot in life, think small, try to fit in with normal groups of people, and not aim too high in order to avoid disappointments. I would like you to consider what may seem like a radical idea. Genius can show up in many ways as there are human beings. Anything in any field that anyone has ever accomplished is shared by you. You're connected to every being that ever lived or ever will live. And you share the exact same energy of intention that flowed through Archimedes, Leonardo da Vinci, the Virgin Mary, the Virgin Mother, and Jonas' son. You can access this energy at the deepest level. All things and all people are composed of vibrations organized into fields that permeate the entire structure of the universe. You share these vibrations and you are in this field. The starting point is knowing and understanding that this level of creativity and functioning called genius resides within you. Then begin to deconstruct doubts about your roles here. Make a commitment to raise your energy levels to vibrate harmoniously with the field of intention, despite attempts by your ego and others' egos to dissuade you. Dr. Valerie Hunt, in Infinite Mind, Science of Human Vibrations of Consciousness, reminds us lower vibrations exist with material reality, higher ones with mystical reality, and a full vibrational spectrum with expanded reality. To fulfill this intention of appreciating and expressing the genius that you are going to have to strive for that full vibrational spectrum. This is the idea of expansion, which is crucial to knowing your true potential. It is what you signed up for when you left the formless world of spiritual intention. You co created a body and a life to express that inner genius, which you may have locked away in an almost inaccessible chamber. Thank you. Pallavi, would you like to take over?
Yeah, thank you, Deepaji, for that wonderful reading. Good morning, everyone. Expanding your reality. The universal force that created you is always expanding, and your objective is to achieve harmony with that source and thereby regain the power of intention. So, what it is that keeps you from expanding to the mythical reality and full vibration spectrum that Dr. Hunt refers to? I like this answer from William James, who is often referred to as the father of modern psychology. Genius means little more than the faculty of perceiving in an inhabitual way, to expand your reality to match the expansiveness of all creating field of intention. You have to peel away your old habit of thoughts. These habits have pigeonhole you to the point where you allow labels to be attached to you. These labels define you in many ways. Most of the labels are from other people who need to describe what you are not because they feel safer predicting what can't be than what can be. She never been very artistic. She had tad clumsy, so he won't be athlete. Mathematics was never her strong suit. He's bit shy, so he won't be good dealing with the public. You have heard these pronouncements for so long that you believe them. They have become a habitual way of thinking about your abilities and potentialities. Dr. Williams James suggested genius means making a shift in your thinking so that you can let go of those habits and open yourself to possibilities of greatness. I have heard the stereotype about authors, about I've heard the stereotype about writers and speakers since I was a young man. If you're a writer, you have introverted and writer don't make dynamic speakers. I choose to shift from the programmed and stereotypical way of thinking and decided that I would excel at anything I affirmed and intended for myself. I choose to believe I choose to believe that when I came into the world of boundaries and form, there were no restrictions on me. I was intended here from an expensive energy field that knows nothing of limits of label. I decided that I had both an introvert writer and a dynamic extrovert speaker. Similarly, I have broken through my socially imposed habitual uh, ways of labeling people. I can be genius in any area if, according to the father of modern professor psychology, I can be genius in any area if, according to the father of modern psychology, I learn to perceive in a habitual way. I can sing tender song, write sentimental poetry, create executive paintings, and the same time in the same body excel as an athlete in any sport. Build a fine piece of furniture, repair my automobile, wrestle with my children, and surf in the ocean. Pay attention to yourself in ways that allow the expansion of the infinite possibilities that you are potentially capable of. You may decide, as I have, that repairing an automobile and surfing in an ocean aren't what you are enjoy doing. So leave those activities to others and use your genius to engage in pursuit that please and attract you. Expand your reality to the point where you pursue that you love doing and excel at it. Involve yourself in high energy trust of level of trust, optimism, appreciation, reverence. Am I pronouncing it right, Deepaji? Reverence?
Yeah, reverence,
Reverence.
reverence.
Reverence, I think.
Reverence.
Reverence. Reverence is showing respect,
Okay,
deep
thank you
respect.
so much. Um, it involve yourself in high energy level of trust, optimism, appreciation, reverence, joy, and love. That means love for what you are doing, love for yourself, love for your genius, which allow you immerse yourself in any activity and enjoy the process of experiencing it fully. May I continue, or anybody else wants to take?
There are
Richa,
no names, so you can read for a while. But just asking, Richa, Jyoti, Maniji, anyone wants to read? Write your name, please. You can continue for a while.
thank you. Trusting your insight. The process of appreciating your genius involves trusting those inner flashes of creative insight that are worthy of expression. The song you are composing in your head, the weird storyline that you keep dreaming about that would make a fabulous movie. The crazy idea about combining peas and carrot in a seed and growing parrot vegetables. The new car design you have always contemplated, the fashion idea that would become the next fad, the toy that every child will yearn to have, the musical extravaganza you have seen in your mind. These ideas and thousands like them are the creative genius within you at work. These ideas in your imagination and distribution of God taking place. They are not from your ego, which splashes them with fear and doubt. Your inside are divinely inspired. How your creative mind is how your higher self vibrate harmoniously with the field of intention, which is always creating. Banishing doubt regarding those brilliant flashes of insight will allow you to express these ideas and begin the process of acting on them. Having the thought, and can you help me with this word? Squelching.
Squelching, squelching,
Pardon?
Squel-
squelching.
Squelching.
Squelching. Thank you so much. Having the
Squelching is
thought,
squeezing and suppressing it.
pardon, Deepaji, can you come again?
Squelching means like you squeeze something, and
Okay.
keep it under control, sort of.
Okay. Thank you so much. Having the thought and squelching them because you think they aren't good enough or they don't merit any action or denying the connection that you have to the power of intention. You have a connecting link to intention, but you are allowing it to weaken by living at ordinary level of consciousness. Remember that you are a piece of God and the inner spark of genius in your imagination. That intuitive inner voice is really God reminding you of your uniqueness. You are having these inner insight because this is precisely how you stay connected to all creating genius that intended you are. As I have said earlier, trusting in yourself is trusting in the wisdom that created you. Never but never regard any creative thought that you are having anything other than a worthy potential expression of your inner genius. The only caveat here is that these thoughts must be in a vibrational harmony with the seven phases of intention. Inner thought of hatred, anger, fear, despair, and distraction simply don't foster creative insight. The low energy you dominated thought must be replaced and converted to the power of intention. Your creative impulses are real, they are vital, they are worthy, and they carve expression. The fact that you are conceive, the fact that you can conceive of them is proof of this. Your thoughts are real. They are pure energy and they are telling you to pay attention and get that connecting link of the power of intention polished through living at different level than you have expected at a normal or ordinary. At this level, everyone is genius. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Richa, you want to read, na? You can take over.
Okay. Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Appreciating the genius in others. Every person you interact with should feel the inner glow that comes from being appreciated, particularly for the ways in which they express their creativity. A core theme which strengthens the flow of the power of intention is wanting for others as much as you intend for yourself. Appreciating the genius in others attracts high levels of competent energy to you. By seeing and celebrating the creative genius, you open a channel within yourself for receiving the creative energy from the field of intention. My 15-year-old son, Sands, has a unique way of riding a surfboard unlike everyone around him in the ocean. I encourage him to do what comes naturally and express it with pride. He also created a unique language of communication similar to my brother David, which others in the family and close personal acquaintances emulate. Creating a language that others use is the work of a genius. I tell Sands this, and my brother too, whose unique language I've spoken for over half a century. My daughter Sky has a distinctive, one of a kind singing voice that I love. I tell her so and point out that it's an expression of her genius. All of my children, and yours as well, including the child within you, have unparalleled characteristics in many of the ways they express themselves. From the way that they dress to the little tattoo, to their signature, to their mannerisms, to their unmatched personality quirks, you can appreciate their genius. Notice and appreciate your genius too. When you are just like everybody else, you have nothing to offer other than your conformity. Take the road of seeing the face of God in everyone you encounter. Look for something to appreciate in others and be willing to communicate it to them and anyone who is willing to listen. When you see this quality in others, you will soon begin to realize that this potential is available to all of humanity. This obviously includes you. Recognizing genius in yourself is an integral part of the dynamic. As Dr. Hawkins tells us in Power versus Force, until one acknowledges the genius within oneself, one will have great difficulty recognizing it in others. Genius and simplicity. Begin to realize the intention of this chapter by uncomplicating your life as much as possible. Genius thrives in a contemplative environment where every minute isn't filled with obligations or hordes of people offering advice and insisting on your constant participation in ordinary, mundane endeavors. The genius in you isn't seeking confirmation from others, but quiet space for its ideas to blossom. Genius isn't as much about achieving a high IQ on a standardized test as it is the exceptionally high level of plain old savvy in any given field of human endeavor. Genius at work may be the person who finds tinkering with an electronic gadget for hours on end exhilarating and also can be entranced by puttering in the garden or observing the communication patterns between bats on a starry night. An uncomplicated life with fewer intrusions tolerated in a simple setting allows your creative genius to surface and express itself. The simplicity establishes a link to the power of intention, and your genius will flourish. making your intention your reality. Below is my 10-step program for putting this intention to appreciate and express the genius within you to work. Step 1. Declare yourself to be a genius. This shouldn't be a public pronouncement, but a statement of intention between you and your creator. Remind yourself that you are one of the masterpieces that emanated from the universal field of intention. You don't have to prove that you are a genius, nor do you need to compare any of your accomplishments to those of others. You have a unique gift to offer this world, and you are unique in the entire history of creation. Step 2. Make a decision to listen more carefully to your inner insights, no matter how small or insignificant you may have previously judged them to be. These thoughts, which you may have viewed as silly or unworthy of attention, are your private connection to the field of intention. Thoughts that seem to persist, particularly if they relate to new activities and adventures, aren't in your mind accidentally. Those tenacious thoughts that don't go away should be viewed by you as intention talking to you, saying, you signed up to express your unique brilliance, so why do you keep ignoring the genius in favor of settling for less? Step 3. Take constructive action toward implementation toward implementing your inner intuitive inclinations. Any step in the direction of expressing your creative impulses is a step in the direction of actualizing the genius that resides within you. For example, writing and submitting a book outline, regardless of how you may have doubted yourself up until now, recording a CD of yourself reading poetry or singing the songs you have written, purchasing an easel, and art paraphernalia, paraphernalia and spending an afternoon painting or visiting an expert in the field that interests you. During a recent photo shoot, a photographer told me that years earlier he had arranged a meeting with a world renowned photographer, and that visit sent him on the road to doing the work that he loved. To me, this man was a genius. Photography had always intrigued him. The early prodding in his life that he acted on allowed him to appreciate the genius within him. Then one meeting with one man taught him to trust in that intrigue and to use it as a means for communicating his genius to the entire world. Step 4. Know that any and all thoughts that you have regarding your own skills, interests, and inclinations are valid. To reinforce the validity of your thoughts, keep them private. Tell yourself that they are between you and God. If you keep them in the spiritual domain, you don't have to introduce them to your ego or expose them to the egos of those around you. Wow, this is beautiful. I'm going to read it again. If you keep them in the spiritual domain, you don't have to introduce them to your ego or expose them to the egos of those around you. This means that you will never have to compromise them by explaining and defending them to others. Lovely. Step 5. Remind yourself that aligning with spiritual energy is how you will find and convey the genius within you. In Power versus Force, David Hawkins concluded, from our studies, it appears that the alignment of one's goals and values with high energy attractors is more closely associated with genius than anything else. This is completely in line with understanding and implementing the power of intention. Shift your energy to harmonize vibrationally with the energy of Source. Be an appreciator of life and refuse to have thoughts of hatred, anxiety, anger, and judgment. Trust yourself as a piece of God, and your genius will flourish. Step 6. Practice radical humility. I'm checking, there are no names, right? So I'll continue because probably we are close to the end of the chapter. Step 6. Practice radical humility. Take no credit for your talents, intellectual abilities, aptitudes, or proficiencies. Be in a state of awe and bewilderment. Even as I sit here with my pen in my hand, observing how words appear before me, I am in a state of bewilderment. Where do these words come from? How does my hand know how to translate my invisible thoughts into decipherable words, sentences, and paragraphs? Where do the thoughts come from that precede the words? Is this really Wayne Dyer writing? Or am I watching Wayne Dyer put these words on the paper? Is God writing this book through me? Was I intended to be this messenger before I showed up here as a baby on the 10th of May, 1940? Will these words live beyond my lifetime? I am bewildered by it all. I'm humble in my inability to know where any of my accomplishments come from. Practice radical humility and give credit everywhere except to your ego. Wow, so beautiful. Step 7. Remove resistance to actualizing your genius. Resistance always shows up in the form of your thoughts. Watch for thoughts that convey your inability to think of yourself in genius terms. Thoughts of doubt about your abilities or thoughts that reinforce what you have been taught about a lack of talent or lack of aptitude. All of these kinds of thoughts are a misalignment and don't allow you to be in a vibrational harmony with the universal, all creating field of intention. Your source knows that you're a genius. Any thought you have that challenges this notion is resistance, which will inhibit you from realizing your intention. Step 8. Look for the genius in others. Pay attention to the greatness you observe in as many people as possible. And if you don't see it at first, then spend some mental energy looking for it. The more you're inclined to think in genius terms, the more natural it becomes for you to apply the same standards to yourself. Tell others about their genius. Be as complimentary and authentic as you can. In doing so, you will radiate loving, kind, abundant, creative energy. In a universe that operates on energy and attraction, you will find these same qualities returning to you. Step 9. Simplicity. Simplify your life. Take the complications, rules, shoulds, musts, have tos, and so on out of your life. By uncomplicating your life and removing the trivial pursuits that occupy so much of it, you open a channel for the genius within you to emerge. One of the most effective techniques for simplifying life is to take time each day to spend 20 or so minutes in silence and meditation. The more conscious contact you make with your source, the more you come to appreciate your own highest self. And it's from the highest self that your own genius will be manifested. Step 10. Remain humble while staying in a state of gratitude. This genius that you are has nothing at all to do with your ego mind. Be ever so grateful to the source of intention for providing you with the life force to express the genius that resides within you. Those who attribute their inspiration and success to their ego soon lose this capacity, or they allow the approval and attention of others to destroy them. Remain humble and grateful, and more of your genius will surface as you remain in a constant state of expansion. Gratitude is a sacred space where you allow and know that a force greater than your ego is always at work and always available. The man who inspires me every day, Ralph Waldo Emerson, whose photograph looks back at me as I write, put it this way: to believe your own thoughts, to believe that what is true for you in your private heart is true for all men. That is genius. Take this awareness and apply it in your life. Another genius tells us how to do this. Thomas Edison said, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Are you sweating yet? Wow, wonderful.
Wow. Finally, with this, we end the book officially, and we will read this final part again, like which we started with tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it will come in full
Yes.
circle when we do. So, yeah, beautiful chapter, very close to my heart indeed. So, yeah, we're open for discussion. So, feel free to share whatever you would like to share or add. Yes, who had some insights and ideas today while we were reading this? Anybody's creative genius popped out as we read this?
So
Yes.
I remember something that because I was just reading, right? So I was trying to recollect. Like there were so many points where I was like, oh my God, yes, I have felt this before. And again, the way he puts it in simple words is very beautiful. I love the part where he mentions that, be in the state of bewilderment. I love that word. Uh, and how he is explaining even while he's writing that book. So it transports you to that time, right? Whenever he has written this book, and it makes us feel that it's right now. And the way he has explained that, yeah, am I writing this book? Or is God writing through me? And he's like constantly questioning himself like a curious kid. I like that. I really love that. And I think we all can keep that curiosity alive in us. So I love that part, and uh, there was something like I'm forgetting the word, but he was, yeah, it was almost at the tip of my tongue, but I've forgotten now. But yeah, anyone else who would like to go, I think it will come back to me. I don't remember right now. But yeah, it had resonated with something that I have been feeling off late. So yeah, I'll come back again.
So yeah. Anyone else wants to add or say something? Okay, chalo, I'll start. Like, so for me, I call this that your inner voice is connecting with your higher self. So it's like our inner voice. We always have this gentle nudging voice inside of us that is trying to tell us something, put like nudge us, poke us, and tell us that do this, do this, do this. But somehow we are either paying attention to it and working upon it, and most of the time we are not working upon it. It's like that one idea that is in our head that is somewhere having the small voice and telling us to do that. That's inner calling, what we call, or whatever it is. So I feel it is that. And I'm actually working on developing a course for kids, like a live course, not like an online thing, but for the in the summer vacations coming right now. So I feel this is very much in alignment. So and I just remembered a few things in my own life where I had felt the moments and experienced this, what the author is talking about today. So there was this one project that I worked upon. So there are multiple projects, and as coming from a creative background, we have to think creative, think out of the box, and we need to ideate on it. The process goes with brainstorming and working from scratch and all of that in most places. But still, we look for references and we take ideas and then we work upon things. But sometimes it happens, right? Something comes from within you, and when you get to work on something like that, it gives you, it's like more close to your heart, and it gives you a lot of joy also. So there was this one project where I was working on one of the website of uh, one of my last employer. So I remember that day and the way it all came up. There are few instances, in fact, like not just one, but this is like, I feel that is the best work that happened ever. And I remember it just the website and whatever the idea, it was more like a it did not become into a website. Then later on we used it as a PPT, but the way everything just flowed through at that moment and time, it was like in flash of like something just came from somewhere. So the idea of the all the pages, how they will flow through, and how the navigation will happen and everything, just I'll just try sharing, not in the group, but sometime in with you guys whenever it's possible. But I'm just sharing that it all came, the idea just came through uh, in a flow, and I just draw some, and something was coming to me, and I just drew small sketches, and then I executed it later. But it turned out to be very extraordinary. So that was one experience I remember. Then there was this one thing when I'd received a medal in my final year of my college, for our final campaign, which is like a very important thing in commercial, so in our art, this thing curriculum. So final year campaign has holds a lot of importance. So I received a bronze medal in there. But I was not a very I was a average student in college. So I was never like a very medal achiever or kind of a thing. But somehow I remember that day when the prizes were going to be announced. Not that my campaign was very standing out extraordinary or something, but there was this very strong inner voice which told me to stop and wait for that day. So I remember I was waiting till the prizes were announced, the day before, like when we as students we were waiting in our classes. I remember something in my mind told me that, or my heart told me, like, just wait today. I don't know what was it, but I listened to that voice, and I was just waiting and waiting. With no, my friends have all gone by, and we were waiting like till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in college, because the judges were still judging the campaigns and all of that. And that is when it was announced. I got to know that, and then it just like confirmed, like, okay, this is what I was waiting for. Like, you don't know now what are you waiting for, but then but something was there inside that was telling me. So there are multiple such instances which I remember. And the other thing which I remembered was, I had been fortunate to have experienced this one of the retreat of one of my Reiki mentor. So in that he had put us all on complete silence for like we were not allowed to even touch our phones or have our phones with us. We were all in complete silence, not even talk to the next person, not even in our rooms when we go back after the seminar and after the activities there. We were all put in complete silence for like one whole week, 8 days almost, day night. And we were only allowed to talk in the exercises that went through in the room, when which he initiated. So that was a time when you actually felt so much in your zone, and I felt so much connected. So I have felt this connection multiple times, and I think even in my day-to-day life I do follow through this. So I feel that is what the author was talking about. And that particular part where he shared, like, give yourself space from constant obligations and holding opinions and advices of other people. I think it's very important, because that is where we allow ourselves to think out of the box, or listen to that voice inside, out of the chaotic voice or noise outside that is being always talked about, or we are always surrounded with. So I just got reminded of all these things, and it just helped me, like, actually it's so important, right? Like, that we connect with ourselves, and that's where we are able to connect with that ideas or higher power or something, and we allow them to come to us and then operate through that. That kind of surrender is also required, that you put it on paper, or if it is a writing or whatever, you just take, you become the channel, and you actually allow that thing to come out of you. I think that is very important. And many of the times I feel we are taking our ideas or whatever that comes to us too much of granted. We are not really working on them. We are not putting an effort to bring it out. And I think that's where even the remember the last four lines that we read yesterday, right? Those also resonate with. This is what I felt. So I would want others to please share. At least today, it's very important. We are just few of us today, just five of us. So please do share and take this as an opportunity. Uh, yeah, thank you, Deepa. You want to share something before you leave?
Yeah,
So,
your share was wonderful, Mansi. just little distracted nowadays with certain things happening in my personal life. Uh, I guess I'll share again in the afternoon. I'll try to join.
Yeah.
Thank you. Make your day great. Bye, everyone.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
We are
Mansi,
watching this new series by Joe Dispenza in the afternoons. Okay, redesign your destiny. So do join, and you would
Yeah,
really like it will be
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
And
I'll
Richa, for
make that.
you, we have also shared the link. So if you can't join in the afternoon, you can also watch with us. Like whatever videos will put it in the group what we covered. So you'll be aligned with us. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Others can go on. Yeah.
okay, so hi everyone, good morning. I want to share something. Uh, like when we finished reading, I was not getting anything to share. But then when Mansi started sharing about her own experiences in life, I just got one thing which actually hit my mind from my college days only when I was doing MTech. So there was a library where you can actually go through a lot of research papers, and then you can you can write your own research paper, and then it goes for publications and all. So while I was researching for my own subject matter, one, I don't know, from somewhere it came, and I started reading about the prostitutes and their lives. I don't know, it came from nowhere. I was from a technical background, and doing this social experiment was beyond my education or beyond anything. Just because I had a lot of research papers available for free in the library, I just thought to find some of them. So I started finding some of them which were written on the prostitutes and their lives, and how actually they are living their lives. I started reading some of them, and then one of my friends, her name is Shipra. She was my classmate. She joined me, and then we started reading. So we read, I think we read about 40 to 50 research papers on their lives, and we got really curious. And there's a place where the prostitutes stay. Like we were in Jaipur, and I don't know, that was a very courageous step to do, but we got into so much curiosity that we went there. We talked to few of those ladies, and we actually listened how their life is, how they came there, what were their experiences, and then we wrote a research paper which was not into our syllabus, obviously. We wrote our own research papers which got published, but yes, this the paper which we wrote on prostitutes and all that stuff, it actually got rejected. But though we got a lot of insights, we got a lot of experience. It was a very unique experience, and today when I look back at that particular incident, I know one thing for sure, that within myself there is a lot of curiosity about the social things. So I know from there this is one event, but there are a lot of events which happened into my past life where I know that for some or the other reason I just get connected to all the social things which are going on, all the things which I think I'm very curious about how these things come into. So when the author said that there is somebody he knows who has this habit, not habit, but a creative side of writing a soft porn, but he always encourages him. So at that time I got this point. So yeah, so it is something like कि मैं मेरे subject में वो था ही नहीं, but still it came from somewhere. And I think that whenever you are into something, you are thinking deep. As Mansi said, when you are sitting alone in silence, maybe a lot of things come within you, and then you experiment on those things. So this is how you embrace your creativity, and you should always give yourself time to do so. Sometimes it will lead you to a path which is your purpose for what you are here in this world, and then you will be living happily. As Manish ji yesterday said, that he doesn't need vacations, he doesn't need holidays, because he loves what he does. So I think everybody should be blessed with that, and we will be able to live that life when we will be able to tap into the creativity within ourselves. So yeah, that was my take. Thank you.
Yeah, very beautiful share, Jyoti. Thank you for sharing that. I feel like just to add to what you shared, that made me remind of some of my other things also. So I feel when we take these bold steps, or when we go by these inner callings, whatever it is, we don't know why we are feeling so inclined towards something, but we just still do it. I feel it takes us to some other dimension of ourself, and it actually tells us more about ourselves than the thing we are working on, is what I have realized. So when we go by the process, we understand about ourselves. So maybe by the prostitute project that you did, maybe you got to know about your side, your different side of yourself through that project. So your empathy or your concern about these issues or something like that. So for me, I remember when I was very much inclined. I used to do this Wednesday wisdom. Some of you have been with me for a longer period of time, so you know this. You are aware of this, especially Richa and Jyoti. I'm assuming you remember that. So Wednesday wisdom, you remember that the interviews and everything that we took. I feel that it was a process. I don't know, but I feel now it become. I'm not doing it right now. I want to start it again, but then I feel that's like a important dot, which I feel, which I if by taking that step or taking that initiative, I got to know about myself that I am a very spontaneous person. So okay, I'm good at this, or I enjoy doing this. I would have never understood this if I had not taken that step and went through the process. So I feel that's very important. We get to know so much about ourselves by doing something. I remember even your thesis experience reminded me of my college project, where I just went in the slums and I just photographed. We had photography as a subject, and my photography professor was very khadus. So somehow he used to give me a very bad hard time at that time. And it was my second last year, and I we went out with for doing photography, and I pictured the slum kids and all of that. But somehow the photographs and everything, and at that time we did not had this digital cameras. So and for the project, particularly at that year, we had to film it in the film camera as a part of the like a learning process. So I did not know like what had come or what I had picturized, because I couldn't see it and actually did not delete, or those options were not available. So I did it, but it turned out to be so good. It was all black and white photos. It turned out to be so good. I received a first prize in that, and the prize is like I feel when you said like I was expecting that you might have received some good acknowledgement for that, but as you said, it got rejected. But I feel whatever extreme that happens, either something gets very harshly rejected or something that gets awarded. I feel that extremeness is a way of the universe giving us signs. I feel maybe like this is important, because we know so many publishers, so many people who have got rejected, but still that rejection never faded away their enthusiasm for that particular thing. And I feel that really matters, and that's how you get to know ki, no, I'm really passionate about this thing, and rejection or award or nothing matters, but I want to do this. And I feel that I think that coming to that realization is also very important, because these are the people who get rejected from someone in the beginning, but at the end these are the one who are like actually uh, more appreciated in the world, and they become renowned authors or whatever. So many people you read, if you get to learn and study about so many stars and everyone we know, they have been rejected very much in their life. Amitabh Bachchan has a story that he was rejected for his height. Many actresses never wanted to work with him at that point of time, and today he's this thing. Aishwarya Rai was rejected because her beauty standards, the way she was like fair and green colored eyes and all of that, that was not like the normal beauty modeling standard matched up to that at that point of time, because at that time people were looking at dusky models and all of that. So uh, I think it's just a way of confirming us that okay, we need to be working on this line, and this is something that is my calling or I am inclined towards. And I think that even understanding this much is very important in life, I feel sometimes. And that will never happen unless we take that bold steps and go for it. Thank you. That was a beautiful share, Jyoti. I really loved it.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Mansi.
yeah. Anyone else wants to add something, please do.
Yeah, good morning everyone once again. Just I'm impressed with the title. It says everyone is born a genius, but the process of bring the geniuses them. And in author is here matlab, again and again emphasizes that we are all born genius and we have all the abilities within us. But our limited belief doesn't help us to explore them. Just as he said कि अगर आप you are a author, if you are author, if you are a writer, then you can't be a great speaker. But this is our limiting belief, and he told कि we should come out of it and explore the genius within us. And if we are allowed to explore, he has used the word कि God force bring when you take over मतलब when you come out of your limiting belief, the God force within you begins to take over. When you मतलब जब आप अपनी इनर वैल्यू को करते हैं तो मीन्स पूरी कायनात उसे पूरा करने में जुट जाती है. दिस इज व्हाट आई अंडरस्टूड. Yeah, thank you. And
Yes,
that was the share that you and Jyoti already shared, no?
Yeah, good
yes,
morning to all.
very much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
In
Pranavi. Go on.
yeah, in addition to Pallavi's talks, no, like we personally know what kind of skills we have and how genius we are and kind of that. But trust me, your heart will signal you once, twice, and thrice. And if you start rejecting that, your heart would go into the dormant stage. So, and it will never give you the signal back. So whenever that signal happens with a intense, you will get intense thoughts about that particular geniuses which you carry. So my humble request is, when your heart signals it, please try to follow. Otherwise, first, second, and third, and fourth, it will give you an attempt, and then if it gets rejected, you're over. So whenever the heart permits, no, even the universe will be ready enough to um, you know to set the surroundings and environment as well. So yeah, so that's what I thought of conveying. I don't know how far I have reached the up to the point, but then it's a fact. Yeah, thank you all.
I
Yeah.
agree 300%. Yeah.
प्रणवी जी जो आपने कहा ना उसको हम लोग हिंदी में कहते हैं कि अपॉर्चुनिटी लॉक्स योर डोर and it is you too who has to open that door
Yep.
at that right time. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So can I just add something? So it's like opportunity is something that we're looking from an external point of view, something giving us an opportunity, someone, something like that. But I think this is also about our inner calling. So it's coming from inside. So there is this inner instinct, right? Like we want to write a book, or we want to work on an art project, or we want to do a painting, or we want to go for a singing class or learn singing or something like that. So this is also one thing. And I just remembered, as Pranavi shared, there is this beautiful book called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. If anyone has read it by any chance, you can agree with me, you can't agree more with me, but that book is all about creativity and how to bring out the creativity inside. It's like a very elaborated version of this chapter, I would say. And when we read it first time on B Club, I literally in the description I literally written like a Bible of a creative soul, and it really resonates that much. And in that, Elizabeth Gilbert talks about this thing what Pranavi just shared right now with us about idea. She calls it an idea, and she says that idea will nudge you on your shoulder, and it will come and sit by you and give you a lot of chances to please bring me to life, please bring me to life. But when you're not listening for a longer period of time, then she gets bored, and then she will go to someone else looking for a right partner that can bring her to life. So she shares very beautifully, personifying so many of our emotions and things. And I think that could be a very wonderful read for all of us also. And anyone who's wanting to work on any creative endeavor, uh, that can be a great book to read. I would highly recommend for everyone to read it. And if possible, we will read it on this like together also. It's a very beautiful book. It's small chapters, but very powerful chapters. So it's all about bringing that creativity out of us, which we have so much resistance and this thing for. So yeah, just
So
reminded me of that.
So I have a question if somebody can answer my question. So since we are doing this discussion, there are certain things which comes from within, which we want to, we want to try, we want to do, and we want to see if that works for us or not, and we want to make it a career. Maybe it can be a hobby. First of all, I was never able to differentiate between a passion and a hobby, but then certainly, slowly and steadily, I was able to do that. But now the question arises there because it has happened with me. Sometimes it happens that like because I am in a phase of life right now where there are a lot of things which are going into my mind. I took a career break for some personal reason, and from last 4 months I'm not working. But yeah, I'm working on myself, not working like for finances and all that stuff. But then there are certain things which are coming into my mind because I want to be at home, be with my husband. So there are a lot of things which are coming into my mind that I can do this also, I can do that also. Certain things are the things which I wanted to do, which I have figured out, like to be a relationship coach. Certain things are infused by somebody else, like who dearly loves you. Like my husband gave me an idea, but then now I feel like, okay, he told me that you do some classes. I think you are good at cooking and all that stuff, baking especially. So go for a baking class, and maybe in future you can take it as a career and all that stuff. So there are certain things which were with me from last 2 years or 3 years. There are certain things which are infused by somebody who dearly loves you, and you know that they are not saying it like essay. They are meaning it. But then it comes from inside कि हाँ यार चलो ये भी देख लेते हैं, करते हैं. So now there's the question is कि how to choose that what is your actually your inner call. क्योंकि अभी मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि हाँ ठीक है यार, मैं बेकिंग भी सीख लेती हूँ, और साथ साथ ऑब्वियसली रिलेशनशिप कोचिंग इज समथिंग विच आई हैव टेकन फ्रॉम लास्ट 2 years, 2.5 years. बीच में रुक भी गया था जब मैं जॉब कर रही थी. But then, yeah, this is my question: how to differentiate between what is your inner call and what is something which is subtly induced into you, but now you know that you want to do it. But I don't know if I really want to do it or it is just an induced version. So yeah, if I can, मतलब मेरा question अगर समझ आया तो.
Yes, can I try to attempt to
Yeah,
answer? I
yes,
don't
yes,
know.
yes.
Yeah,
Please.
I
please
don't know
do
if
that.
I can. Um, so two things. One, because when you were explaining, right? So what resonated in my head was one of the ideas or steps that the author emphasized in today's chapter, right? And actually, I've written it down as well because that was one of the things that I wanted to focus or share again that I was not remembering. It's about simplifying your life, right? That it was step 9. So I would highly recommend take some time today, Jyoti, and read that part again in silence, just with your own self. I think it will help you with clarity of thought. Because he has explained it in very simple words, and what you are going through I have been through, and actually Mansi has seen, some of my journey from 4 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever I joined the book club. So I was into this, phase where I was trying to figure out, okay, I can do this also, I can do that also, and I'm good at so many things. And I think I was trying too hard, and that's where I was failing. Uh, Sometimes what we have to do is we have to just uncomplicate, right? Like the author is saying. So we have to remove everything. We have to stop doing everything that we are doing and then start from ground up again. It takes some time, but it's worth it, is what I would say, because it gives you immense clarity of thought. And what you are, like the good news here is you're already aware that some ideas are infused by others. So if it was like अगर वो उतना अंदर से नहीं आ रहा है ना या जरा भी डाउट आ रहा है तो शायद वही whatever your instinct is, it's saying the right thing to you, right? And you can just sit with yourself every day. And the other thing that he has emphasized on in today's chapter is he recommends, right, बहुत सारी चीजें, मतलब किसी से भी बात मत करो, let it be between you and your God. सो दैट वे किसी की भी ईगो नहीं आएगी, बिकॉज हमारी सबसे बड़ी दुश्मन हमारी खुद की ईगो है, जो सबसे पहले आ जाती है, बिकॉज वो ईगो ही है जो सेल्फ डाउट लेकर आएगी. एंड लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स ये इवन इफ आर लव्ड वंस, हम जिनसे पूछ रहे हैं, मतलब मैं तो ये बहुत करती हूँ, मैं अपने हस्बैंड को पूछूंगी एंड आई रियलाइज कि I was just seeking validation from him rather than, expecting a new answer. So and वो भी एक ईगो से ही मतलब ड्रिवन हो जाता है. सो इसीलिए हम खुश ही नहीं होते, इवन इफ वो हमें करेक्ट आंसर भी देंगे ना, हम फिर भी वो डाउट करेंगे. सो आई थिंक in my very limited experience, what I would recommend is just sit with yourself for a few days and maybe make a journal and just keep it like agar if you're not able to just keep it in your head, sometimes होता है कि दिमाग में घूमता रहता है फिर गोल गोल. So I like to make it linear by writing it down in my diary, and then eventually you will see a pattern. What is it that you really want to do? And as the author put it in the right words, I really resonated with it. एंड मुझे अच्छा लगा जैसे उन्होंने, बिकॉज ये मैंने भी अपने एक्सपीरियंस में अभी देखा है. आई एम एन एक्सट्रोवर्ट एंड आई यूज टू शेयर अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. आई लव्ड वोकलाइजिंग एवरीथिंग दैट आई वाज ट्राइंग. सबसे लाइक मुझे बहुत होता था कि मैं अपने हस्बैंड को बोलूँ, मैंने आज ये सीखा, आज मैंने ये नया सीखा. बट कभी कभी वो हम उसका चार्म मतलब खो देते हैं, बिकॉज आई थिंक द आइडिया विद विच दैट वी आर ट्राइंग टू शेयर दैट, उसके पीछे कहीं ना कहीं वो वैलिडेशन या समथिंग है कि वी आर सीकिंग दैट, अरे कोई बोले अरे हाँ मैं कितनी मेहनत कर रही हूँ, आई एम सो टैलेंटेड एंड व्हाट नॉट, राइट? बट दैट्स नॉट द पॉइंट. एक्चुअली द इनर डीप कॉन्शियसनेस इज नॉट लुकिंग फॉर दैट. सो इसीलिए सिटिंग विद योर सेल्फ and just listening to your own self and your inner voice, as Mansi was also saying, right? I love Mansi's share where she was saying that she always taps into that inner voice and she has that habit and she follows through. I think that will highly uh, it will be very useful to you. So I hope I've been able to give some answers, and a lot of it is basically from what the author is saying. So it's more like I'm just uh, representing his ideas because I'm thankful to him. So
Yeah.
hope that
So I
helps.
yeah, very, very beautifully said, Richa, and that you should try that, Jyoti. And I just want to add to what Richa said that like this is what my mentor says. Like it's basically like not all of us are many of us na are still figuring out things, and we need to allow ourselves that because she says it very beautifully. Like some people are like the river, just like how Jyoti, how Sachin Tendulkar, Lata Mangeshkar, or many of the people who always knew what they want to become or what they are inclined towards at the from the early ages of their life, and that's beautiful. But not everyone is like that. So they always are flowing in a direction. They are going towards something, and they're aligned with it very much. But for many of us, it's like an onion which is peeled, and we come to know and understand ourselves layer by layer. So as we peel one layer, we get to the inside layer, and then the inside, and then the inside, and finally we come to the core. So it's something like that. So it's basically what I believe is try doing it, exploring things really helps in this way, because what I feel is unless you explore, you will not know if this is your cup of tea or not. I love to explore things, and I keep doing it, and I am also very multi passionate. I still feel inclined towards so many things, like right, whatever I'm doing also, and what I want to do also. So I make sure that I just give it a try and give myself time to do those things, or dedicate and give it a thought. So just to add that what happens is I agree with the validation point that Richard said. I completely agree with that, because it does happen. And another point is also that sometimes na it's all about things coming to us from different sources also. Like कभी कभी ऐसे हो जाता है कि कोई किसी किसी ने कुछ सजेस्ट कर दिया, और वही चीज like it was like that person's suggestion, और वो चीज, it may not be your husband, it may not be your very close person, it could be a stranger also, but वो कभी कुछ बोल के चला जाता है, and वही चीज होती है हमारे लिए, that was important and that message had to come to you. So for me, I'll just share one of my example, like I remember tarot cards came into my life through my husband. So we just went to an exhibition, book exhibition, a bigger on a bigger level, and there was this one set which we were inclined to take, and he took it. He wanted to take it and he wanted to learn it. He was just curious around it, and he never learned. He never even opened the book, or it was a set of card books altogether. He never opened it, but I started studying it, and I got so like hooked to that I started learning, going deeper and deeper, learning through internet, learning to the this thing, and that's how it has always been with tarot cards, with him and me, for that matter, because all the cards that are with me also right now are gifted by him. So but I am very good, like I am very deeper into it, and he just takes my suggestions. So कभी कभी ऐसे भी हो जाता है कि कुछ चीजें दूसरों से आनी होती है, but instead of dismissing it completely, I would say that observe yourself, observe your energy, and maintaining a journal, as Richa said, could be a good idea. तो आप बस observe करना कि what is it that how is your energy, how do you feel within. I think feeling, as we read in the other book also, and as we keep, as even the author keeps telling us, this particular author also, that feeling is like a GPS. It tells us the right thing. So observe your energy around things. Do you feel more happy when you cook? Do you feel more contented, and you feel, yes, this is it, I would love to do this for the rest of my life? Or you feel more towards relationships and doing that? You will not know until you explore those things, because as again, giving the reference from the book I mentioned, Elizabeth Gilbert also mentioned that everything that we do has a shit sandwich. So so basically, there was this there is this one chapter where she mentions that everything, like every profession that we enter into, or everything that we want to do, it could be a hobby, it could be anything. So see, basically a difference between a hobby and a business is, hobby, you do it for yourself, it's just for your joy, you don't expect an earning out of it, and if you do, that's a bonus. But business, you need to think from a scaling point of view, from earning point of view. And I have very very practically seen it with, like, I've not done anything in that area as such, but I've seen it very closely with my loved ones and with my close people, that when you do something on a smaller scale, like for example, छोटी सी बात, जैसे आप घर वालों के लिए खाना बना रहे हो, तो अलग बात है, like you'll be very happy, the quantity is less, the taste a little here and there is still okay. But my mom-in-law started, like it was her passion to cook, and it is her passion to cook, and so she started with her this thing. After my father-in-law passed away, she started with making some menus and recipes, like chaklis and some things that she's very very good at. She started a business out of it, and when at the moment it went into a business level, all the dimensions changed. So the quantity increased, the quality restrictions went higher, and everything. So things change drastically when you convert any hobbies even into business. So it's all I think it's all about, if we are passionate enough to go to that level, or we just like for example, for me, I'm very clear, I would love to just cook for my family. I love to cook myself also, but and I'm good at it too, but then I would be, I'm super clear that if I go on a scaling level, I would just the joy of it will just go away. And that's the same for my mom also. So I feel it differ from person to person, but you will not know until you give it a try, and until you take, like for example, अगर cooking करना है या जो भी है आपको अच्छा लगता है, you take courses, look for it, look how much you are inclined towards it, and is the passion rising or is it fading away with time, with experience. And as just coming back to what Elizabeth Gilbert said, she said about the sit sandwich, where she said that there was this one point in my life when I was just writing, but I was not getting any opportunities. And similarly, she had a friend with her who was also into writing, and he also wanted to be a writer, but at one point he gave up. He felt like I just can't do this anymore, and he just withdrawed from this whole desire of wanting to be a writer, where she shares it's like a sit sandwich of that profession, to have to wait and get rejections and all of that. But she said, I was so ready for it, I was so okay with it, because at that point I was so passionate about it that I it was like my friend keeping his sit sandwich halfway, and I was like, give it to me, I want to eat it types. Like she explains it that way in her book. So she's like, for example, if you want to be a photographer, it's bound to come that you will have to spend time apart from your family. You'll have to go out, you'll have to stand for the whole day, you'll have to be out, you will have to be like working outdoors, and that is part of the profession, that is shit sandwich of that profession, in spite of having that passionate photos and moments. So you have to be ready for that shit sandwiches, whatever comes with it. So when you go to coaching and relationship coaching, there could be some different shit sandwiches. When you go to cooking, there could be some different shit sandwiches. So you will also have to figure out which shit sandwich are you okay to be with. So that is one thing of it. Like just a job, when we do a job, that is different. Like you have to listen to your bosses, you have to be okay with somebody bossing you, you have to give in that time and hours, and you have to give up on your freedom and all of that. You have to take permissions even for small important things in holidays. Business gives you that kind of freedom, but that business gives you inconsistency of income. You have to look for clients, you have to do everything together. So multiple things, everything have their own way, and we need to just figure out over the way what are we okay with, because hard work and struggle and everything is a bound, is a part of the process. But if that is something we are very passionate about, that becomes a game for us, that's it's where we are very okay with it. So this is just one my perspective in addition to what Richa already beautifully shared with you. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Richa. Thank you so much, Mansi, for sharing that. I'll surely, use those ideas. I'll start journaling, and yeah, surely I'll start. I think that is very true कि जब तक आप करोगे नहीं आपको पता नहीं चलेगा. Now for sure I know that I am not made for jobs. I cannot do jobs. Doing multiple jobs and different kind of I did jobs in startups also. I worked with huge MNCs also. But one thing I got to know that I'm not liking it anywhere. That means jobs are not for me. I'm not for the jobs. So this is one thing which I will not do until and unless okay कुछ और नहीं मिल रहा है अब करनी ही पड़ेगी. Otherwise I won't think that I'll go for a job. But yes, surely I'll be trying everything. And the thing which you said about the shit sandwich, I have been. I think I have been experiencing this concept of shit sandwich with coaching and relationship coaching and all that stuff, because I've been trying since 3 years. Maybe be inconsistencies rahi hai. I'll not blame it on the idea solely. But then I think ki, if I am stuck with it. I think I want to do it. So this is one thing which I want to do. But surely I'll try for something
And
which
and
is
just
yeah,
to
yeah.
add, now sometimes it also happens, like many a times I would say, like through these different things that we keep exploring, na, we eventually end up doing something unique or different, that is an accumulation of connecting all the dots. Like for example, like you talked about cooking. So there is this, I'm very passionate about this, but I have not done it, or I have not even learned anything around it yet. But I'm just saying that if you see, there are creative cakes, which are very creative, which are customized as per the person's. They're huge, they have a huge demand, but they're very rare, and hardly anyone can do it. But artist, if for example, if an artist wants to be a bakery artist or something, then I think that can be connecting their dots, where they can actually blend those things together. So you never know. And maybe sometimes you can just add one of your quality as a flavor to whatever you're doing, like just as a product or as a bonus or something as a giveaway. You never know how things will evolve. So unless you try and unless you explore, you will not know. And maybe at one point you'll be able to connect those dots looking backward, and that will come out to be a unique, beautiful something that only Jyoti can offer. So never give up on anything or exploring anything. Just give it a try and be observant of your energy, and also be aware of where is this coming from. Is it coming from someone else and I'm just doing it for the sake of making them happy or validation seeking, or am I also enjoying it? That's very important, I feel.
And
Yeah.
Mansi, what you said na ye about this, I think it reminded me of again that Tony Robbins का एक वो workshop जो था few years back, and उसमें he specifies,
Match
right?
your
Establish
message.
your, yeah, make your mess, convert your mess into the message. And ye connecting the dots, establishing your dots, because ultimately we are trying to find our niche audience, right? So what you said, I think that summarizes well with that idea also. कि इतने सारे इसमें, like, you establish what is the dot, small dot of people that you are trying to cater to, right? And that helps you establish your niche, like how you were saying that, yeah, वो उसका मतलब ज्योति का ठप्पा होना चाहिए ना उस पे, कि तो जो unique genius that only Jyoti has will come through with that dot.
So I have done the same, right? Like I have struggled a lot. Like I have changed my names. When after coming into coaching, I have changed a lot. Niche wise, I have tried to be this and that and connect my all my dots. But at one point, you'll come to a point where you'll feel, "Okay, no, this is it. Now I want to go forward from here, and I don't want to change this anymore." And you'll reach that point at one point. So
And it keeps
be
evolving
open to it.
also, right? It keeps
Yeah,
evolving also, right?
and it doesn't matter what name you give yourself or what designation, what association you make with yourself. Ultimately what matters is what you do, and what impact are you creating, and what difference are you bringing around. So I think that is what matters, and as far as you're able to do that, nothing like it doesn't matter what you call yourself. So for example, like अगर आपका नाम ज्योति नहीं होके, if your name was Richa or Swati or anything else, you still would have been the same person and created the same experience and impact to the other person you meet in person, right? Or you interact with. It's like that. So name is important for people to remember and connect with you, but ultimately your energy and what you are and what you give out matters more, is what I feel.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I'm actually very grateful, and I feel blessed that I am a part of this session today. So thank you so much for answering, and thank you so much for making me understand certain things. I loved it and much grateful. Thank you so much.
We are also with you. हम खुद figure out करने की कोशिश कर रहे
सब लोग
हैं
कर रहे हैं, सब लोग करते रहते हैं, even if
नहीं
you are in
बट
your 30s,
स्टिल
40s,
यही है
50s,
ना कि
60s, we
डिस्कशंस
are
होती
all
हैं तो
figuring
चीजें आ
out.
जाती हैं.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
No,
I
we are
think
all,
but
that's why
asking
help
helps,
कर रहे
like
हैं
पता है, like
साथ
what
ही.
happens now, this discussion helps because what happens, हम किसी एक से एक कोई पूछता है और कोई किसी को हम जवाब देते हैं ना, I feel all the others who are listening are also finding some answers in a way or the other. All of us, like when I am listening, when I was listening to Richa answer you, I got some of my insights, I got some of my, it happens, and that is why it is important that we discuss, and it really helps, is what I feel.
वो
and
chain
and I really
reaction.
like your quality of being so receptive. You always ask like a student, you are very much open, you kahin pe bhi, you are very humble around it, and that is the beauty, I feel. That's a very innate quality that you have, Jyoti. So I would highly suggest, please protect it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
because
that
that's
makes
one of the
others
things,
be
na?
open to share with you कि क्योंकि आप पता रहता है, like you feel your energy is like we feel that okay, you're receptive, you're really wanting, you're really curious, you're not just
Ah,
doing it out of some other intention kind of a thing. So it really your intention does matter, and that connects with everyone. So yeah,
that's
that's
so true. That is so true because वो मैं वही सोच रही थी कि वो towards the end when he
she
talks
has so
about
much
keeping
respect na,
humility.
in her talking, in her tone towards
हाँ,
everyone. Like even
right.
when she talks about anybody in her family, or she has so much respect and she's so humble. I really love that. I feel that's very attractive about her as such.
Yes, and that's authentic also. Humility and humble रहना and authentic रहना that the author is suggesting. So you already have that, Jyoti. So that's very nice.
Thank you so much.
Can I add
Today's session
something?
made my day. Thank you so much, everyone.
Can I add
पल्लवी कुछ कहना चाह रही है बेचारी कब से yeah, Pallavi के बाद Pranavi you also can go, like we are extending time but I feel it's worth it today, so yeah, please keep it short and yeah, please share.
या एक्चुअली ज्योति जी, अगर आप वाकई में कुछ ढूंढ रहे हैं ना, तो पहली बात तो गट फीलिंग होती है। सेकेंडली मतलब आपने जो कहा कि दूसरे लोग जो कर रहे हैं या आपका इनर फीलिंग है, तो इसमें मैं एक रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल अपने बेटे का बताती हूँ कि जब मेरा सन 19 मतलब 12th में था, तो ऑब्वियसली आजकल सबके 98-99% आते हैं। तो मतलब हर सब्जेक्ट में बच्चा टॉप करता है। यू नेवर नो कि उसे इंजीनियरिंग में जाना है कि कंप्यूटर्स में जाना है कि कहाँ जाना है, बिकॉज सारे सब्जेक्ट में अच्छा स्कोर करते हैं। तो व्हाट हैपन माय सन, मतलब काफ़ी उसने मतलब अच्छे स्कोर किए। उसका फर्स्ट चांस में उसका आईआईटी में भी हो गया। एंड एवरीबडी जो भी सुनता है वो कहता है वाओ आईआईटी में हो गया, उसको तो इंजीनियरिंग ही करा दो। नथिंग बेटर देन दिस, आईआईटी में तो एडमिशन मिलना मुश्किल। पर मेरा बेटा कॉन्स्टेंटली कहता है मम्मी मेरा आईआईटी में हो गया बट आई नेवर वांट टू डू इंजीनियरिंग, मेरे को अपना स्टार्टअप भी जाना है, मुझे एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में करनी है। तो वी व्हाट वी डिड कि हम लोग कैरियर मतलब काउंसलिंग सेशन उसका कराया। वहाँ पे ना आपका टेस्ट होता है। मतलब वहाँ पे मल्टीपल टेस्ट होते हैं। तो वहाँ पे उन्होंने वो टेस्ट करके मतलब एक्सटर्नल गाइडेंस, मैं कह रही हूँ कि कई बार अगर आप कंफ्यूज होते हैं कि एक्सटर्नल फोर्स क्या कर रही है आपका क्या कर रहा है, तो जब हमने उसकी काउंसलिंग कराई तो उसमें उन्होंने कहा कि हाँ ही इज गुड एट बोथ द थिंग्स। बट उसका जो मानसी ने कहा ना कि ब्लेंड ऑफ योर क्रिएटिविटी एंड दैट can emerge into something new and innovative that can bring name and fame to you। तो क्या हुआ, तो हम लोगों ने उसका क्या किया, ठीक है हमने उसको एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप विद डाटा साइंस दिलवाया उसको। और उसने मतलब पढ़ाने के साथ ही विद इन 2 years ही उसने अपना स्किल्स दिखाने लगे। अब उसने अपना स्टार्टअप उसने विद पढ़ाई के साथ ही स्टार्टअप किया एंड ही इज डूइंग मतलब वंडरफुली। मतलब उसने मतलब कई बार ऐसा होता है कि जब वी आर कंफ्यूज देन मे बी समटाइम्स एक्सटर्नल गाइडेंस डू हेल्प। दैट इज व्हाट आई वांट टू हाईलाइट। या थैंक यू सो मच।
Very true, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing
Pranav,
that.
Pranavi wants to add something, yeah, Pranavi.
Nothing much, Richa. Mansi, I've covered everything, but one live example of mine was when I have actually my qualification is electronics and communications of engineering. But then after finishing my degree and all, I have directly joined into a managerial job kind of thing. And when the HR has asked me that why am I supposed to give this job to you when your field is electronics and communications? How come you are into this managerial job? Because I was also pursuing MBA after finishing my engineering. I mean, here what I mean to say is you need to really have that courage to know what you are, and you should also have the courage to express what you are. So when that HR asked me, I have told him directly that just with my parents' guidance, I have done my electronics and engineering. Yes, the percentage is good, no doubt about it. But from my inner heart, I think that I'm very good at managerial skills than that of the electronics system. Because in the electronics also, I've done a particular job. It didn't suit me. I mean, from the core of my heart. But then when I have pursued my managerial this thing, it was really working wonders on my this thing. So what I mean to say is compare the conditions of any two activities you have chosen. Maybe it's like two kinds of jobs. And the second thing is be courageous enough to take it correctly. Few of my friends, they were like, no, my mom and dad has educated me in this particular field. So it is damn better to go in this particular lane only. Who are they to decide your innate things? They may or may not be knowing, right? So you should have that courage enough to face it and take it as a strong believance as well. So it's my live example actually. So just sort of sharing you. That's it. Thank you all.
Yeah, yeah, very, very well said. Thank you for sharing that, Pranavi. In fact, that's very courageous to share it, in fact, I would say. And Jyoti, I just want to add one thing for you is basically you are at a very good point of your life. And I would say it's very, very, you should be very grateful that you are realizing and you are at this phase, at this spot in your life, very early in your age. Because if you see around you, you feel find many people changing their careers in their midlife, or many people, as Pranavi just shared, right, like that, many people work in, even for me, like I have worked in the industry, in the advertising industry for like around 10-15 years, and I still do it because there's so much experience and everything around it. I love that work too. But now I've got to realize, like since few years, that okay, this is my calling too. But if you ask me, I was studying psychology at the same point when I was doing commercial. I was giving both the exams because I had some inclination towards it, but I did not had this guidance or even courage to change my stream, or even to think in that direction that maybe this could be my calling. So I never explored that area then. But now coming back after working in the industry after so many years, I want to, like, I feel like, what if I would have just switched lanes that time? Maybe I would have done so much more work in this area, because I feel now this is something I can die doing. So this is something my inner calling and something like that, because I'm more inclined towards it. So I feel you're at a very good spot where you are discovering all of this, or at least giving the opportunity to discover all of this so early in your life. And now, even if you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, for example, to establish yourself, or going slow, you'll still be way earlier than many people around you, and that will be always an advantage. So it's just about figuring out, and more focused and more aligned you keep yourself, you'll be in a better position. Is I would suggest that that will be a good thing for you, is what I feel.
Yeah, I think I should be. Yeah, sometimes I think it in this way. Whenever I want to think positive, I think it in this way. So yeah, thank you for sharing, everyone. I am very, very grateful to this community, and thank you so much for taking my question this seriously and answering. And everybody's input is invaluable. Thank you from like my heart. I'm very, very grateful. Thanks a ton.
Thank you for
Wow.
asking
Yeah,
and
thank you
giving
for
us this
asking. Yeah.
opportunity to think through.
Uh,
It's actually a brainstorming for us also, right? Like, in a way.
It is, yeah, and it encourages us also to, question what we are trying to do with our lives as well. I had one more quick thing. I know we are, way over time, but I feel like this message has also come for you, Jyoti, because it's so in line with your question today. And I think you were already saying this in some words, but I noticed that my daily quotes calendar also has a message for you. So I'm going to read it out. It says, "It always seems impossible until it's done."
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Though I
I
Do
will
have
share
share
it
it
heard
in
in
the
it a
group
group.
lot.
too, Richa.
No,
Yeah, but
let
I
I
will
have.
me, let me,
I will
Mansi, let
share
me, yeah,
in
Yes,
the
let me add.
Manish जी ने कुछ नहीं बोला, बोलो
हाँ,
बोलो
आज
मनीष जी.
मनीष जी आपने बुक एंडिंग पे
I
कुछ नहीं
was,
बोला.
see, let me tell you that the true definition of impossible is I am possible. Okay, so if you break it impossible into three parts, it is I am impossible, right? It says I am possible basically. So impossible is only like how you look at it. It's just like you have to either you
yes.
life is always half glass full. Either you look at the empty one or the full one. So that's how it is. So and one more thing what I want to add is that through today's reading, through the power of intention and through our gut feeling and something like that, that is the author also said many times that when we have these feelings like what this is what you want to do, and through your power of intention. So if you combine both the things, that is intuition from God, through the God. So how you can doubt that power of intention, because that is the ultimate source of energy, the ultimate divine energy.
that is holding the universe to its current state, right? So how you can just like doubt that power of intention? So just like that. So it's just like that, you just set up a discipline of how you want to live your life, whether it is in any area of life, and just set small goals, small to bigger goals, and it's just like, if you take the next 5 steps, after you complete the first 5 steps, you will find the way to the next 5 steps. You cannot find the way right now for everything. So I read a lot of books about all the leading people in the world, right? So they always say that, like, don't look for the perfect time. The perfect time is right now. Whatever just start with that. So when you start with that, you will find the way to the next step. That's how it is. So, so I think the best thing that I found from today's reading is that, using your power of intention, the 7 facets of intention, the author is just trying to just strengthen your confidence and your thinking to achieve your purpose of life. And that is your intention is your voice of God. So, and the voice of God is never incomplete. So it is full of energy, full of faith, and full of everything that you need to have. So when you have that faith in that power of intention, it's just like unlimited fuel in your car. You can go to any far distance without any doubt, just like that. So I think, and also just to add my story, also I did my BTech in mechanical. I did my all the job in computer science, and right now I'm doing civil engineering, architecture, interior designing, and also into business consulting. You can see my journey of life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Right,
what
and I
we
think
were talking about.
in today India, right now India is into that full housing boom, because people, after this corona and everything, people are liking bigger houses, beautiful houses, because apne यहाँ India में, you don't have so much of like people spend a lot of time at home. अभी work from home वगैरह भी हो गया है, तो I am into this interior designing and so many related things. So इसमें I think for people who are looking for some good career option, I think interior designing is very bright area. And people like to have beautiful houses, and they want to connect with the people who are committed and who are good at communicating and good at doing work and who are sincere.
Can
So
I share something in between? Sorry, Manish ji, to cut you.
yeah,
मैं
please. Yeah, I'm expecting from.
क्योंकि आपने इंटीरियर डिजाइन आई डोंट नो मे बी यू पीपल विल लाफ एट मी और यू विल थिंक यार इसको तो सब कुछ करना है बट इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग इज आल्सो वन थिंग व्हिच आई वांट टू डू आई एम सो सॉरी एक्चुअली मतलब
Actually,
मैंने जब पूजा पुनीत का एक मैंने वेबिनार किया था उनका तो पूजा पुनीत कह रहे थे कि मतलब अगर आपको ये पता करना है कि आपका पैशन क्या है या आपकी हॉबी क्या है या क्या आपको पसंद है जस्ट गो टू योर फीड जो आपकी इंस्टाग्राम फीड है या गूगल पे आप ज्यादा क्या सर्च करते हो सो जब मैंने इस चीज को रियलाइज किया आई डिड इट 4 years बैक इन व्हेन जस्ट आफ्टर कोविड तो 2021 की बात है और जब मैंने इस चीज को चेक किया तो दिस वाज द वन थिंग विच आई वाज डूइंग आई वाज सीइंग कि घर को कैसे सजाना है इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग कैसे करनी है विदाउट हायरिंग वन इंटीरियर डिजाइनर this is all what I was doing मेरे पूरे Pinterest पे if you'll see today it is all about how to decorate your house DIYs and all that stuff and अभी recently मेरा जो मायका वाला घर है जयपुर में it got renovated and I was the one who did interior designing for it without any knowledge of course मैंने कोई कोर्स नहीं किया बस ऐसे ही Pinterest पे देख के और वो सारी चीजें so this is one thing which मतलब ये भी एक चीज है जो मैं मेरे को बहुत पसंद है but I think this is a hobby maybe I don't know if I'll take it to the professional level or not but I'm so sorry अब शायद सबको लग रहा होगा कि इसको सब कुछ करना है but yeah this is I wanted to share
नहीं,
ये क्या होता है
so
ना कि
so
अगर
I
the
I
person.
totally believe I totally believe like no people are in the same room without any reason, right? You so ऐसे नहीं होता है like yesterday you felt an inclination to come and join us at this time which is not your normal time, right? So और आपको वो भी कुछ मिल गया जो आपके लिए जरूरी था. Today
yeah
is also something like this. So it's I believe in this कि and I learned it from my mentors कि when a few people come together it's something, there is some divine intention behind it also. So it's not a coincidence that Manish ji is here to share this with you and you sharing this, and now I feel you try to connect your dots, you try at least, so eventually you'll figure out. because you never know, like शायद एक चीज से you'll get to know कि okay this is what I like in this, like for example अगर आप इंटीरियर करते हो तो you understand कि okay you have an eye for beauty, you have an eye for detail. अगर आपका कुकिंग है तो आप कुकिंग में भी आपकी वो क्वालिटी रिफ्लेक्ट होती है, या फिर यू लाइक ब्यूटीफुल प्रेजेंटेशन. सो हाउ यू डू थिंग्स डिफरेंटली इन एवरी एरिया, एंड देन यू विल बी एबल टू कनेक्ट योर डॉट्स. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आप मुझसे पूछो लाइक रफली स्पीकिंग, तो आई फील कि इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग एंड योर रिलेशनशिप कोचिंग, राइट, इट्स लाइक क्रिएटिंग ब्यूटीफुल हाउसेस फॉर having a beautiful relationship, right? It connects
Oh, beautiful,
in a way.
Mansi. I never thought of it.
and
Thank you
and
for
then
that,
and
Rani.
then cooking and having a luxurious life together, having beautiful experiences in small things. So just, I mean, you never know how you connect things differently. So you can eventually show yourself, or you can show like a video like this comes to my mind where you are just there is a beautiful house, जैसे वो पिक्चर में दिखाते हैं ना एडवर्टाइजर्स में कि एक ब्यूटीफुल हाउस है, यहाँ पे एक कपल एकदम अच्छे से प्यार से रह रहा है और एक साथ खाना बना रहा है अच्छा खाचा, और बीवी खाना कुछ ब्यूटीफुल केक्स या जो भी कुछ बना के हस्बैंड को परोस रही है. दैट इज हाउ दे शो अस, राइट? तो ये पूरा पिक्चर आपके लिए ट्रू होता है. So you never know how you connect your
Mansi,
dots, Jyoti. So just
thank you so
explore
much.
it.
So, let
I
me
cannot be more
Especially in
grateful
terms
for
of
this session
interior
today.
designing, it's
Thanks a
because
lot.
he'll be able to, yeah, he'll be able to guide you better.
Yeah,
If
I know.
interior is one of your things. So again, I'll say that explore the shit sandwiches in every area, and then you'll know कि मुझे ना इसमें का सिर्फ इतना ही पार्ट पसंद है, बाकी ये सब मुझे नहीं करना है. फॉर
पता
एग्जाम्पल,
है एक्चुअली
तो
मेरे दिमाग
और
में
जब
बहुत
वो आप
ज्यादा ये
सब
आता
में
है.
से, और अब जब चार चीज एक्सप्लोर करोगे ना, एंड यू
हाँ,
नो कि मुझे इस पार्ट, मुझे कुकिंग का ये चीज पसंद है, फॉर एग्जांपल मुझे कुकिंग का प्रेजेंटेशन पसंद है, मुझे इंटीरियर का वो इंटीरियर का फर्नीचर वाला डेकोरेशन है जो भी पसंद, फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम जस्ट सेइंग, और होम डेकोर पसंद है. मुझे कोचिंग में ना, आई लाइक इट व्हेन पीपल ट्राई टू वर्क ऑन देमसेल्फ. आई डोंट लाइक इट व्हेन दे आर टू रेजिस्टेंट अबाउट इट, जो भी, फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम जस्ट सेइंग, लाइक आप ऐसे जब आप ऐसे सब में से ऐसे फिल्टर आउट करोगे ना चीजें, देन यू इवेंचुअली कम टू नो कि फिर आपको वो आपका निश या जो भी है ना वो ज्यादा हाईलाइट होके आएगा
हाईलाइट होगा
आपके सामने.
एग्जैक्टली. मुझे
Maybe for
अब
your journey, or for many of us, even for me it was the same. For us
हम्म,
it's like filtering out things, and then eventually we are able to connect the dots and come to our own niche, which is
एब्सोल्युटली
satisfying for
या
us.
अभी जैसे
It's not like
एवरीबॉडी.
हर किसी का पाथ ऐसे, मुझे लगता है हर किसी का पाथ ऐसे अलाइंड पाथ नहीं होता है. वी हैव टू फिगर इट आउट, लाइक
या
वी हैव टू थ्रू सम एक्सपीरियंसेस एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट, सो
अभी
यू
ऐसे
नेवर नो.
आई थिंक प्रणवी जी ने शेयर किया और मनीष जी ने भी शेयर किए थे देयर ओन जर्नीज. एंड देन जैसे आई हैव डन माय इंजीनियरिंग फ्रॉम इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड कम्युनिकेशन. देन आई डिड एमटेक. आई वांटेड टू डू एमबीए, लेकिन इस प्रेशर में कि यार बीटेक करके एमबीए कौन करता है, there was a pressure at that time. So I did my mtech, though I learned a lot of new things over there. And then finally I landed, obviously I did worked in Amazon, but then it didn't worked out for me for somehow. And then some creative side came out and I started writing. Then I started getting this interest in digital marketing because मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि coaching अगर मुझे करनी है तो मुझे डिजिटल मार्केटिंग के थोड़े इफ्स एंड बट्स पता होने चाहिए. एंड देन आई रेड अबाउट डिजिटल मार्केटिंग, और अभी रिसेंट मेरा जॉब एज अ मार्केटिंग मैनेजर ही था. बट देन इट ऑल्सो डिडंट वर्क फॉर मी और मैंने उसको छोड़ दिया. एंड नाउ
So
आई एम
I
सेइंग
feel
या
यही होता है ना, तो आई फील इट्स लाइक अ बुक, राइट? लाइक एवरी वी आर रीडिंग 10 बुक्स, तो 10 बुक का हर बुक का हम 100% इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में नहीं जा सकते, बट देर आर टू पॉइंट्स वी आर पिकिंग फ्रॉम एवरी बुक. So it could be similar for you, and it has been similar for me. Like for in every from every job I learn, there are like these two major takeaways that stay with me for life. एंड वो सब ऐसे सब दो दो चार चार टेक अवेज मिलके वी आर क्रिएटिंग आर ओन रियलिटी, राइट? लाइक इट्स लाइक दैट, लाइक जस्ट टेक इट दैट वे. Like every phase or every stage of your life or every experience of your life is teaching you something as a core message. As far as you receive that core message, it could be also taking stands, it could be also being like I'm attracting like what kind of people I don't want in my life. Anything, like it could be understanding okay, this depletes my energy, it could be anything, you never know. but you will only understand when you reflect upon it, as Richa shared, right? Like I think you are already doing that. You are already in the process, so it will come to you, just a matter of time.
नहीं, let
है
me
ना?
add one thing. I think, Jyoti, what you should do is कि you take pen and paper, और जो भी whatever you are willing to, जो भी आपके माइंड में आता है कि मुझे ये कर लूँ, तो just write them down और उसको पॉइंट्स दे दो कि भाई how on a scale of 1 to 10 आप उसको कितना इंपॉर्टेंट मानते हो in your passion of in your work for passion. उसमें just write down your number of points and everything, and then you make a see कि भाई which you will find the difference. You will start connecting the dots basically. कई बार क्या होता है ना, जर्नलिंग का बेनिफिट यही होता है कि ना, यो एक्चुअली आवर माइंड इज लाइक अ मंकी माइंड, वो हमेशा नाचता रहता है लेफ्ट राइट, बट थ्रू जर्नलिंग वी कैन क्वाइट दैट मंकी माइंड. तो व्हेन यू आर नॉट फुल ऑफ क्लैरिटी, जस्ट उसको लिख लो कि भाई अगर मुझे ये करना है तो हाउ हाउ इंपॉर्टेंट इट इज़ फॉर मी ऑन स्केल ऑफ 1 to 10. फिर नेक्स्ट लिख लो. फिर बिफोर यू मेक अ डिसीजन, थोड़ा सा यू टॉक टू योर गुड फ्रेंड और विद इन द फैमिली, एंड देन मेक अ डिसीजन. और मेरा एक बहुत अच्छे फ्रेंड की एक बात है, वो कहता है कि कोई डिसीजन इतना बुरा नहीं होता कि भाई इट विल नॉट यू विल नॉट रिपेंट ऑन, मतलब यू विल रिपेंट ऑन इट. तो कहता ना कि भाई एक्शन इज द एनिमी ऑफ फियर. एक्चुअली एक्शन इज द एनिमी ऑफ एंजाइटी. एक्शन इज द एनिमी ऑफ फेलियर. सो आप मतलब जस्ट स्टार्ट राइटिंग एंड यू विल कनेक्ट द डॉट्स बेसिकली. वो मेरा एक टेक अवे है कि भाई
Yeah.
या सो बेसिकली यू आर
Thank
राइटिंग
you.
योर थॉट्स डाउन एंड फाइंडिंग द क्लैरिटी.
Sure. I'll do that. Since everybody suggested journaling, I'll definitely do that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
और वन मोर थिंग, ये ना अभी क्या हो रहा है कि इंडिया में ना पीपल आर स्पेंडिंग लॉट ऑफ मनी ऑन हाउसेज, बाइंग हाउसेज एंड सो मेनी थिंग्स, are willing to spend multi crores in housing and so many things, so they don't mind spending another 1 to 5% of their cost in interior designing. जैसे क्या होता है ना कि when we go to a good 5-star hotel for something, how good you feel. So the people who are rich people, they are spending a lot of money on making beautiful houses. So I think the market is very wide open for very creative people. And I think as per your communication everything, and I think you are one of person best suited for this profession, because in this इसमें क्या होता है इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग में ना, हाउ यू कम्युनिकेट वो बहुत मैटर करता है ना. तो यूर
See.
या तो आई फील कि, और ये बड़ा क्रिएटिव भी है ना, यू गेट कनेक्टेड विद लॉट ऑफ वेरी गुड पीपल आल्सो, वेरी सक्सेसफुल पीपल आल्सो, है ना. तो वो दैट आल्सो एड्स टू द फ्लेवर ऑफ दिस प्रोफेशन बेसिकली.
Surely, I'll do this practice. Thank you so much, everyone. Means seriously, I
Thank
can't
you.
thank you people enough. Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's close for today. It's over time. It's
Yes.
but it
No,
was
but it was a
beautiful, but
very,
yeah,
very good
yeah.
discussion.
I,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that everyone is soulfully satisfied today, helping Jyoti and
Yeah, we all had,
addressing her.
no, I mean, helping ourselves also. I think it gives us also clarity.
Yes, yes, very
And
true.
the shit sandwich thing that you were saying ना मानसी, मुझे उससे वो उसके साथ कनेक्ट डॉट्स हुआ इसका, जो ऑथर ने, मैंने ये लिखा भी था क्योंकि ऑथर ने जो बोला है ना, लाइक ही रिपीटेड एंड वी हैड रेड इट इन सम अदर बुक आल्सो, थॉमस
Have you
एडिसन
have
का
you read
जीनियस.
that book with us, Richa? Big Magic? नहीं ना?
नहीं.
So I think we should take that up once. Like it's a very beautiful
हाँ.
book.
यस वी विल. हाँ,
We'll
बिकॉज वो
take
ऑथर
that.
भी मुझे पसंद है. यस. नहीं यार, मैं ये बोल रही थी, ये शिट सैंडविच का ना, इट अलाइंस विद व्हाट वेन डायर वाज ट्राइंग टू सजेस्ट थ्रू थॉमस एडिसन का, ये जीनियस इज 1% इंस्पिरेशन एंड 99% पर्सपिरेशन, सो आर यू स्वेटिंग
Yes,
येट.
yes.
वो पूछता है ना, तो मुझे अच्छा लगा था वो लाइन. Yeah, so it's that also, right? Like it's all of the hard work, the perspiration that you want to or don't want to do. So that also makes the decision easy.
Yeah, actually, it is
Yes,
all about
yes.
consistency. It is all about being disciplined and be consistent with whatever you are doing. Actually, I don't like words like hard work, and so many authors use that. But because in our true consciousness, nothing is hard. It's just following the right process with the
That's true. That's
yeah.
true. And once you simplify your life, right? मैंने भी आज ही, मैं अपने हस्बैंड को भी बोल रही थी कि मुझे काम करने से कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, मतलब चाहे जैसा भी जो भी काम हो, बिकॉज मेरा मन लगा रहता है. बट अगर मैं वो कुछ भी ज्यादा सोच रही हूँ और ये सोच के कर रही हूँ कि हार्ड वर्क है, अरे बहुत एफर्ट लग रहा है, देन वो पूरा उसका मजा किरकिरा हो जाता है. और जबकि जब ऐसे नहीं सोच रहे हो और कुछ अपने मन का कर रहे हो, तो बिल्कुल भी मतलब ऐसे लगता ही नहीं है कि इतना काम किया है। ऐसा लग रहा है अच्छा मैं ये काम किया है, मुझे तो लग रहा है मैं मजे मार रही हूँ। तो इट गोज इन लाइन विद व्हाट यू हैव बीन शेयरिंग, राइट मनीष जी, अबाउट कि हाँ, इफ यू लव व्हाट यू डू देन वो बिल्कुल भी वर्क नहीं लगेगा।
और वन मोर थिंग व्हाट आई फाइंड यूजफुल इज, जैसे ही जब भी आपको कुछ नया करना है ना, लेट्स से आपको कोई नई एक्टिविटी करनी है, या लेट्स यू आर ट्राइंग टू डू अ न्यू कोर्स फॉर एनीथिंग इन योर प्रोफेशन, तो इफ यू आर जस्ट स्टार्ट विद इफ जस्ट स्टार्ट विद स्मॉल और वट एवर इज योर करंट कैपेसिटी, विद विद फन, बेसिकली फन एंड पैशन, है ना। जैसे आप चाहे दिन में किसी भी नए काम के लिए 10 मिनट पढ़ो केवल, या 15 मिनट पढ़ो, पर मतलब स्टार्ट विद स्मॉल, बिकॉज आवर माइंड लाइक स्मॉल गोल्स अचीवमेंट्स इनिशियली। लेकिन हम क्या करते हैं ना कि भाई मतलब जोश से स्टार्ट करते हैं एंड वी जस्ट गिव अप, बट इट डजंट वर्क लाइक दैट। So just when you start something, just start with maybe small goal. That's okay, and just build on it. So that's how it is. The author says that life is success is 1% inspiration and 99% perseverance. It's just like, the consistency is the key actually. If you're doing, if you're taking small steps, also that's fine, no issues. But if you're in the right direction, that is what matters. So start with small goals and be consistent with that, and just grow gradually on that. As you find interest, as you find the accomplishment in that, as you find your happiness in that, satisfaction in that, just start growing just like that.
Yes, very true.
Okay, I think
All
let's
right, should
close
we
now.
close?
Yeah,
Yes.
we should make solution. Okay, let's meet
Yeah.
tomorrow to conclude with the chapter, and then we'll go with happiness project by
And
Deepa.
let us use all the
Yeah.
learning and insights in everyday life, just like that. I think that is important, right?
Yes, yes, very true, very true. Yeah, wonderful discussion today. Thank you everyone for joining and sharing so much. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Have a great
Actually,
day.
when there
Bye
are small
bye.
groups, we have richer discussions, right? So yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye bye. Take care. See
Thank
you
you.
all.
Have
Have
a
a
good
great
Bye.
day,
day.
everyone. Bye.
Yes.